prime time for the Time Prime. Yes, indeed, as the age of the primes rages in the main line, let's take another detour a full 20 years away from it. It's time to go to time with Transformers Cybertron Vector Prime. So Vector's gotta be the longest established prime outside of Optimus, right? And maybe Alpha Trion? At least Vector's got the word prime in his name, bozo. He was high profile enough to be name-checked in Cybertron's opening spoken word rave. And while I still can't bring myself to watch the series, I feel like I get him. Old as hell, loves a clock. Same. And he's not the crocodile from that one Sonic show. Vector Prime, Prime Vector. Gotta have a system. Yes, friends, Big Vector Meldrew here brings a very distinctive energy that effectively conveys his gig as an ancient guardian from the mists of Cybertron's past. Like a statue carved aeons ago that absorbed all the knowledge of the universe and bought a sword. He really comes off like a dusty old geezer wearing some armor, with his darker, basic skeleton visibly draped in slabs of alabaster blast shielding interlaced with archaic space glyphs. Alablaster. Like, I'm obsessed with the flying pauldrons and the wrist guards and flexible skirting, capped off with a bitchin' cape made of see-through space flaps and a huge chunk of spaceship, like an inverted obelisk, a xylabo. The colours also carry a certain classy might, as the very normal brown and stoic off-white mesh with the decadent gold and steely blue to create a grounded but splendorous mix, implying a timeless pride, resolute in glory, undimmed by the erosion of centuries. I guess in human terms, he'd be like a shredded grandpa in one of those old guys' rule shirts. But he loves a bit of Superdry. So check you out, Grandad! The face is wonderfully distinguished, handsome and sullen, like a sad chess piece. Appreciate the implied collar area and the big brown mullet. I'm rapt by the hulking chest with the massive crater punched into its breastplate, like a diagram of a sliced planet. Bit of a weird spot for a key slot, like an aggressive bum bag, but if I was him, I'd cover up that thing too. Legs are pretty standard hyper stompers, thrusting him up to giddy heights, and his very trad robot frame and omnipresent mega click make him such a joy to pose. No waist swivel, but come on, bro's old. Let's say hi to his cheeky minicon Safeguard over here, glommed onto his arm like a Megatron gun, looking for all the world like a miniature version of the same guy. Right down to the circular tummy plug, the legs around transformation, and the ungodly backpack. Real Micromaster vibes here, like a Lost Universe aerial bot. We've also obviously got this amazing translucent medieval space blade straight out of Soul Calibur. Look at that, man, so gorgeous. And this was over a decade before the last Knight made Nightbots mainstream. Call that the first Knight. So yeah, Big Vector Salamanca's robot mode is a smidge iconic. You know what this reminds me of is, you remember those Star Wars crossover toys they put out back in the day? Like the spaceships that turned into silly robot versions of all the prequel characters. It's like that, but for Alec Guinness Obi-Wan. Transformation's as basic and chonkalicious as it gets. God, I love Cybertron. You just crumple his limbs up and fold out the very obvious 2/3 of spaceship that he keeps on his back. The whole guy's blatantly still balled up there at the aft. I gave Siege Starscream hell for that, but somehow it's cute when Vector does it. And the alt mode leans even further into the Star Wars influence, looking like some kind of boss fight mothership with the vertical wings on the side, like an old-ass TIE fighter, more like a time fighter. Those wings are sick though, hitting like satellite solar panels with optional aerodynamic backswing. They go downwards too, I don't know if they're supposed to. But it's all about the nose cone cockpit slab, jutting miles out the front and really hammering home the clock motif, with gears a go-go carved into both sides and even sandwiched in between like crocodile teeth. More like a time fighter, you get it? But it's all flanked with fabulous filigree and even squeezes in some secret sword stashage. Love that they gave him this dummy crossguard over the other side just for symmetry. The undercarriage is hilarious too. Same. Like, it's so blatantly just leg storage. I enjoy the tow guns and the bonus landing gear and little satellite dishes, but it's the brazenness of the huge square ankle holes for me. Do they like port onto something? Do they go somewhere? Maybe it goes onto Primus? I don't know. They seem to say, what are you looking down here for? But even more so than the visuals, what really hits you is the weight. Big Vec Reeves here is a prima Turbo Slicer Cybertron chonk. Hefty Transformers really peaked with the Unicron trilogy. I can scarcely believe this thing's a Voyager class. Well, I know inflation's a thing and God knows the world's different now, but goddamn, 20 quid for all this? Huge, heavy, it's got electronics in it? It's wild. At least he did have electronics in him, and I didn't know. I got him second hand, so I was oblivious to the AAA's rotting in his guts for 20 years, and they fried the electrics and turned into the forbidden Watsits. I've lost his missile as well, so I can't even show you that. But even with all the gimmicks bust, there's still fun going on. Even the key itself is pretty dope looking. It's thicker than most, with the clear bubble filled in with a second layer of black plastic, sporting inlaid shiny sigils matching the worlds, which I'm told are in danger. I also weirdly enjoy the Minicon slot. It's not just the usual nubbin cylinder, it's got this whole excavated relief for safeguard and safeguard only. And I know I say this a lot, but I don't usually enjoy Cybertronian modes having a cockpit. But I don't mind it on Vector. This is a guy who's been around since the birth of Infinity, so who knows how many alien races he's encountered, schmoozed with, fought alongside, taxied around. Plus he has a Minicon, maybe Safeguard rode up front when he was little, you don't know. So yes, Queen Victoria here has certainly earned his beloved status. It's a tremendous toy of a guy who feels like he's been around forever, both canonically and fandomically. And I know there's a new version kicking around for Legacy United, love that he's back on shelves, great news, but I'm hesitant. I like the G-Axis mold, but I just know it ain't gonna approach the majesty of this mid-noughties marvel. Vector Prime is truly the GOAT. Going on about time. Random patron shoutouts this time to David Roberstein. Huge historic thanks to Backslide Dan for throwing me this guy like 14 years ago, and I'll see you next episode. Clock off.